This is your beef burger baconator slayer coming at you live from the garage. I just want to do a quick video on fire starting. The last video I did was a 40-minute video cut down from 70 minutes, and I decided that I would just do a quick video with some useful tips for the bushcrafter and survivalist alike. Today we're going to make fire using 3 different materials. One of them you would make ahead of time, one of them you would carry with you for other things, and one of them you can find in nature, depending obviously on where you live. So let's get to it. The first material is a homemade tinder out of cotton balls and petroleum jelly, just regular old store-bought petroleum jelly. And what you do is you mix the petroleum jelly with the cotton balls. Now if you look here, obviously I've mixed in some wood with it, some wood shavings from a project that I did, because I feel that that helps it burn a little longer and a little hotter. Next is jute twine. A lot of people use jute twine for a lot of different types of cordage. You can use it for snares, you can use it to hang your food up high in a tree, you can use it just to tie down logs making a bed. It's good for a lot of different stuff, but it's also flammable. And something that a lot of people would have on them when they don't want to just rely exclusively on parachute cord, because not everything needs 550-pound test cord. So this is a good cheap alternative to add in addition to the paracord. And fatwood. Fatwood is pieces of coniferous trees where the pine resin or the tree resin collects, and the resin itself is super flammable, and when it collects in these areas you're able to take this and shave it, use it to burn. It burns very hot, it burns very dirty, but it's very flammable because of that. And if you look right here, I have a couple pieces where you can actually see the transition between regular wood and fatwood. This is literally off of the same piece. Fatwood right here, all rich with resin. Regular wood over here, all dry. So let's get started. What we're going to be using today is a Mora knife and a Ferro rod. Ferro rod, the way that it works is you strike it and it creates a spark. The spark is the metal shavings of the ferro rod oxidizing in the air rapidly. It burns up. So, let's get to it. First thing I'm going to use is this homemade tinder that you can bring with you. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fluff up that cotton ball a little bit. Increase that surface area, make it so that way oxygen can get to it. Let me move my hands. This is tough doing this in front of a camera because I got to constantly look at what you guys are seeing. My stupid big hands are blocking the view. But anywho, let's pop that. There you go. Now this will create flames I've had of up to 5 inches, right? And this will actually burn for a little bit. This is one of those things you can just keep moving it around, moving it around, moving it around. I like having these wood shavings in it because I feel like it burns hotter. It's definitely producing a healthy flame. We're up at 6-inch flame now. Now this is the type of thing that'll really get your small twigs and whatnot really going. See, now it's stabilized. This is really good material. But the downfall is you can only use it for this, and you have to make it ahead of time. I've had this burn for up to 5 minutes before. If you can't get a fire going in 5 minutes, we'll just try again. I hate those people who say, oh, well, if you don't get it on the first try, you know, they sit on they're couch warriors or they're keyboard warriors. Oh, you can't get it on the first try. Then you suck. You're a piece of shit. No, it's not that easy, especially outside in nature. You know, today it's raining outside. Doing this would be much more of a pain in the ass. I know that. It's easy for me to say, oh, this works well when I'm sitting in a garage. But you go out in the woods, anything can happen, especially when you're hot and you're thirsty or you're cold and you're having problems with dexterity and moving your fingers, you know. Alright, this next one is, as we talked about before, jute twine. Now, some of the reasons you're going to want to make a fire is for warmth, for light, for protection, for making weapons, and for purifying water, or disinfecting water, really. Jute twine doesn't burn as hot or as long as the homemade tinder. It actually flashes up pretty quick. And you got to keep opening it up to keep it going. But this creates typically about a 2 or 3 inch flame. Right now it's at 2 inches. Alright, last but not least, we're going to be making fire with fatwood. Again, this is resin-rich wood. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to make fire with fatwood. The first way is going to be what I call the matchstick way. We're going to make our own matchstick. Alright, we're going to make what's typically called a feather stick, but when you make a feather stick, normally it's on a stick that's bigger. We're going to make a micro feather stick, but we're going to use it like a matchstick. Alright, what we're going to do is light this, and then what you'll be able to do off of that is use this to light other things, or just use this as is to light just one area. And there you go. You have your own little matchstick. And if you look nice and close, you can see some of that pine resin starting to sizzle. But depending on the size of the wood, this will burn for minutes. You can see that it doesn't burn clean, but it burns very hot. There's a lot of energy contained in fatwood with that pine resin. Good thing to have. Easy to carry on you. Just have a little block of wood. Definitely a good, solid addition to a fire making kit. And last but not least, we're going to make a fire with just straight up fatwood shavings. Anybody with a knife should be able to do this. Look at that. It's a beautiful little pile. That pile is about, I'd say, 3/8 of an inch high and about a solid inch in diameter. Not a whole lot. Obviously it didn't take very much off of this piece of wood, but it strikes so easily. Look at that. And we're getting solid 4-inch flames off of this. Stabilize down to 3 inches. Beautiful. Look at that. Stuff burns very hot, very rapid because it's in it's already been processed down to a very small surface area, so it burns up quickly. But obviously, from something like that, you can start another fire. So, for instance, we'll do a we'll say semi real world situation here. There we go. Use a piece of poplar. So we're going to pretend that this is your kindling, your bigger pieces of wood that you're using to get your fire ready for the actual larger pieces, right? And then we're going to say that this piece right here, or one like it, doesn't have to be that. Say this little piece of fat wood is what you're going to use to get that going. And what you're going to use to get that piece of fat wood going is these little shavings that didn't last very long. Get that lit. Get this to catch. Drop your other on there. Off of that you can get a bigger fire going. Now this is going to burn for a few minutes, especially with this piece of fat wood in here. So this has been your beef burger Baconator Slayer with a fire extinguisher within arm's length away, coming at you with some fire. Be healthy, be happy, be safe out there. And make sure that all fires that you create are well put out. Bacon out.